Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar, your top NFL player prop bets for Thanksgiving Day. We've got 3 great games on the slate and some player prop bets to go along with it. It's going to be a festive day here on the podcast alongside Tyler Wiemann. I am Shannon Sommerville. Happy Thanksgiving week to all of you guys out there. We thought we would give you guys an assortment of prop bets to feast on. What better way to satiate that appetite than with some player prop bets on this NFL Thanksgiving Thursday? We've also added some touchdown calls as well for Thanksgiving, so plenty to go around here on the show. Tyler, how you feeling about these Thanksgiving games? We've got some good ones. Then there's the middle game, that Dallas Cowboys-Giants game. Thank God for prop bets so that we have something to root for in this one. 2 abysmal teams.
You know, very thankful for DFS and prop bets with these 3 games. That is for sure. Go. But the Turkey Day football watching is always a good one.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, what is better than just sitting around eating some food, cashing some prop bets? Of course, we're using the LineStar App PropsAI tool to help us find the best value. If you haven't checked it out yet, hey, we got to do our plug here on Thanksgiving. We're thankful for the PropsAI tool for helping us this season, so check it out for yourself at linestarapp.com. We will go over 5 player prop bets. That's a little different than our normal Thursday shows, so 5 for you guys to choose from. So if you could do us a huge favor, we would be so thankful if you could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. It also enters you into our prop bets contest, a special Thanksgiving edition where we're giving out 5 prop bets. So if we go 5-0, we're going to give out $100 to one randomly selected commenter. And hey, we were 4-1 on our prop show over the weekend. So I think we're on a roll here with that PropsAI tool from the LineStar app. So our first 3 will be kind of consensus picks. That means Tyler and me, we used the PropsAI tool and we found some that we found together. And then Tyler and I will each give our best bet of what we think is the best player prop bet on Thursday, the Thanksgiving game. So as always, if you guys have any locks for us too, drop them in the comments, because the goal of this video, we're all just trying to help each other out, get a little bit smarter talking about football, and also to cash those tickets. So we're trying to beat the books. Let's go do it here on this Thanksgiving Thursday. But before we do, Tyler, the first question that I need to pose to you and to everyone out there, please drop your answer in the comments, is what player are you most thankful for this NFL prop market season?
Oh man, it's been a good season, but I gotta say, for me personally, at least of late, I gotta go to Theo Johnson. I keep going back to him. He keeps cashing for me. It's been a weekly thing.
Yeah, it really has.
The guy has just been, going totally overlooked. We know as rookies, especially a tight end, it takes a little while for their full role and their pass catching to catch on, and it's caught on. He's averaging 11.5 yards a reception.
Yeah, I mean, he's been money, so maybe you should go back there this week. Just saying. Might be a rewarding experience for you this week, even though the Giants that Giants-Cowboys game, could you have imagined at the beginning of the season when we were talking about this game, them to just be so miserable? I mean, maybe the Giants were predictable after they got rid of Saquon, but like the Dallas Cowboys collapse. I feel for you guys out there that are Cowboys fans, man. As a Jets fan, I know it's a rough season for all of us, but we're in it together. That's why we have prop betting.
That's the only organization. Well, Panthers as well. Then I'm like, oof, they might be worse than the Jets.
Well, you know what? I'm thankful for? Certainly not the Jets this season. I'm thankful for Detroit Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs. That's my player that I am thankful for. He's definitely earned me some money in the prop market over the course of the season. So definitely thankful for Jahmyr Gibbs. Close runner-up, though, I was looking at my past slips of what player has really cashed in for me this season. So it was Jahmyr Gibbs. Then we also had a couple Lad McConkeys. We had some George Pickens. I know you know the trend there. Former Georgia Bulldog. Couldn't go a show without. If you're playing the drinking game at home, folks, the Georgia Bulldogs. That is one reference to the Georgia Bulldogs so far in this video. Let's see how many we can get in.
And 2 references.
All right, 2. All right, let's get into our player props for today. All of our picks are available: Underdog, Sleeper, CHALKBOARD, ParlayPlay. If you don't have those apps, download them. Use the promo code LineStar when you first download them, though, so you can get a nice deposit match plus 1 free month of the LineStar app, and you can go check out that PropsAI tool for yourself. All right, let's get things started. One of the games on the slate that we talked about already is the Giants going up against the Cowboys. And in this one, how about the Giants rookie running back Tyrone Tracy over 79.5 rush and receiving yards? Now, I know the Giants are a dumpster fire, but Tracy's been kind of a bright spot for them. LineStar's projection for Tracy in this game against the Cowboys is going to be 97.8 rush and receiving yards. Consensus is around 91.2. He's been over 2 of the last 4. And he's actually averaging 97 rushing receiving yards over the last 4 games. So he's come on for the Giants when they desperately need him. They'll be going up against a Dallas pass or rush defense that has struggled against running backs. They're 29th in rush defense DVOA, and they're actually 19th in pass defense DVOA versus the running backs. So just poor against running backs all around. And the concern with Tommy DeVito, the Giants quarterback in this one, is he also has a sore throwing arm, which could lend itself to some more just get it to Tracy in this one. What is your take on this one, Tyler?
Tracy has just been so explosive. He has been such a bright spot for this Giants team, and they definitely found their next running back of the future, I believe. He's good. He's explosive. He's in a good spot versus the Dallas Cowboys, and that's one that I would like to keep going back to. This game, this New York versus Dallas one, is actually a fairly fast-paced game as well. There should be a lot of plays run, and that just helps Tracy a little bit more. And 79.5 when he is such a dual threat is just too low.
All right, next up, let's go to the highest game total on Thanksgiving. That's going to be the first game of the day. The Chicago Bears are going to Detroit to take on the Lions. And in this one, for the Chicago Bears, we're looking at their wide receiver to Keenan Allen over 48.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection is 58.2. And while Allen's only averaging just over 40 receiving yards per game and has only gone over this total once this season, he did just put up 86 receiving yards against Minnesota, a really good defense. Now, the Detroit Lions defense is good too, but they have shown some susceptibility in the passing game, and they are 12th specifically versus wide receiver 2, which is kind of middle of the pack. I think in this game overall, the game script is going to be to Caleb Williams to be passing the ball a lot in this one. The Detroit Lions are 9.5-point favorites, so they're definitely going to have to pass the ball in this one. So I think Keenan Allen, coming off a good game where he did well against a good defense, we're going to see more of that combination of Caleb Williams going to Keenan Allen. What is your thought here with the receiving yards line?
I think that most likely Caleb Williams is going to throw the most passes out of any other quarterback this Thanksgiving. That leads us to believe in the Chicago Bears wide receivers. And it seems like the new offensive coordinator has kind of unlocked all of them. Last 2 weeks, Keenan Allen, 22 targets. Detroit's ranked 29th, allowing 179 receiving yards per game over the last 9 to the wide receiver. And these 3 wide receivers are going to get targets. I think the 48.5 is too low for Keenan. While I don't love Keenan for DFS because I don't love his possibility for, say, 100 and 2 touchdowns or something, his consistency in getting targets and yards is just too valuable in these prop-like settings. So I love 48.5 for Keenan.
Yeah. All right. Next up, let's keep it with this game. We're going to the Detroit Lions wide receiver 2, and that is Jameson Williams. We're rolling with him over 46.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection for Williams is 52.3, consensus 49.7. And in fact, Williams is averaging 66.9 receiving yards per game, has been over in 6 of 9 games, and actually has been over in all 4 home games. That's important in this one. They're playing indoors. We don't have to worry about any weather in this one, and Jared Goff's going to be airing it out in this one. And if I have to look at last week's results, Chicago Bears against Jordan Addison, the Minnesota Vikings wide receiver 2, who put up 162 against them. I love Williams' spot here. Chicago is 31st in pass defense DVOA versus wide receiver 2. That DVOA takes into account quality of opponent. But I like Jameson Williams here as a spot, especially since what we've seen is defenses a lot of times really focus their coverage on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the beneficiary of that is Jameson Williams. What do you think?
It is wild looking at the differences between the WR1 versus WR2 versus the Bears.
Yeah.
WR2, Addison, 162 yards. Watson, 150. Boutte, 47 yards. Michael Wilson didn't do anything. The Noah Brown, 73 yards. You look at the wide receiver one, Justin Jefferson, 27. Romeo Dobbs,
Yeah.
17. DeMar Douglas, 50. Marvin Harrison, 35. McLaurin was the only wide receiver one that was able to do anything. The Jalen Johnson effect is real. And Jameson Williams is probably going to be get targeted a few times. He doesn't need many to get this. He's just such a big play threat that, you know, he gets 6 targets and he can easily hit this 46.5 number. And I do expect a low volume passing game for Detroit. So we don't need a ton of targets going that route.
Don't need a ton of targets. Yeah, exactly. The passing game script is more to the wide receiver too, and like we said with Keenan Allen and the Chicago Bears, so it might be more of a run heavy script if they get the lead early, but still like the spot here. I think that line is just still too low for Jameson Williams, who's gonna see some receptions in this game against a Chicago Bears defense that's just given up a ton of big plays this season. So liking those 3. Again, that's kind of a consensus of Tyler and I's picks, along with the PropsAI tool that is kind of like powering all of our projections here throughout. You'll see all of our graphics and everything are from the PropsAI tool, so you can check that out for yourself if you'd like at LineStarApp.com. And then now it is time for Tyler and I to each give our best picks this Thanksgiving for a player prop. Tyler, who are you rolling with?
I gotta go to the gift that keeps on giving. Theo Johnson, over 24.5 receiving yards. Our LineStar projections 30.6, consensus 29.2. He's averaging 40.5 yards per game over the last 4. Dallas is allowing 43.5 to the tight end. This guy is a tight end, a rookie who is averaging 11.5 yards per reception. He gets 6 targets a game. I got to keep going to that. The target volume's there. He's been good. His yards per reception is exceptional for a tight end. Theo Johnson is the answer.
Gotta go with Theo Johnson. He's been cashing in for you left and right this season, Tyler. And I know at the top of the show, I talked all about how Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm so thankful for him in the player prop market this year. But this is the week I'm actually going to David Montgomery, because one of my favorite storylines, Tyler, is revenge. I love a good revenge plot. And David Montgomery going up against his former team is just simply something I cannot resist. David Montgomery over 58.5 rushing yards. LineStar's projection for DMont is 70.2, consensus 65.1. He's averaging about 57.5, but going up against the Chicago Bears rush defense that ranks 30th in DVOA. Check out the last 5 running backs that have gone over. You had Aaron Jones with the Vikings put up 106. Josh Jacobs, 76. Ramondre Stevenson with the Patriots had 107. Brian Robinson with the Commanders put up 65 in this one. Absolutely think David Montgomery can get over 55.5 in this one, especially in a game that's going to be calling for a lot of the run plays in this one. Also, Chicago's so deflated right now. They've lost 5 straight. A lot of the players are even coming out saying how, you know, tough this stretch is of games that they've lost. Revenge game narrative. Love that. I do know that he is limited in practice with a shoulder injury right now. I'm not concerned about it. Dan Campbell, head coach of the Lions, just came out with a pretty funny soundbite where he said, I don't think even, you know, regardless of what his injury status is, he's playing in this game. I don't think I could ever even hold him back from this one. So that tells me that David Montgomery has had his eye on this game for quite a while. And I think the Lions know that heading into this one. They're going to give him the ball and see what he can do with it. And we all know what he can do with it, which is quite a lot. When he gets going and he's motivated like that, that is a hard running back to stop. I think it's going to be quite the challenge for the Bears in this one to stop David Montgomery. Now, there is a concern that the Lions could get out to a pretty big lead in this one and then just decide, you know, we're going to err on the side of caution. But I still think that they're going to have a hard time trying to bench David Montgomery against his former team. That's all I'm saying in this one. I still like David Montgomery. And I love Gibbs here, but the line for Gibbs and his rushing yards was 75.5, which I couldn't really stomach that. I think that's too high, especially given the backfield situation where they just, you know, split a lot of the carries there. What's your take on that, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, the path to least resistance for beating the Bears is obviously on the ground. Mm-hmm. And so I think both running backs could have huge days, but I agree. 76 is a lot when, you know, You're probably looking at 15 carries. Saying anything over is hard. So I agree. Prop betting wise,
Yeah.
you got to go Monty.
I mean, do I think he can get there? Absolutely. Both can probably do it, especially against this Bears defense. But you know what? We're just going to go with David Montgomery this week. So that's what we're going to do in the prop market. So we're going to throw all of these on an entry on Underdog. And if you'd like to tail us there, you can. Again, use the promo code LineStar. But just a recap of our picks: Tracy over 79.5 rushing receiving yards, Keenan Allen over 48 receiving yards, Jameson Williams over 46.5 receiving yards, Theo Johnson over 24.5 receiving yards, and David Montgomery over 58.5 rush yards. Hey, if we go 5-0, one randomly selected commenter will win $100. So make sure, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. We would be so thankful for that on this Thanksgiving. All right, now it is time for touchdown calls of the games. Tyler, where are you headed for an anytime touchdown on this Thanksgiving Day?
I got to say, I'm pretty excited about mine. It is Dontayvion Wicks plus 275 to get in the end zone. Look, over the last 8 weeks, Wicks leads the Packers in red zone targets with 7. This is while he is the 4th wide receiver, playing 30-40% of the snaps. And that is expected to go up this week. Romeo Doubs was a DNP for practice today. He had a concussion last game. It is very doubtful that he is going to be able to go. And if he can't go, that means Wicks likely goes up to like 70% snap rate. On the season, he has a 27.5% target rate. So that's when he's on the field, he's targeted 27.5%, and he already has the most red zone targets on the team over the last 8 weeks. So I love Doubs, and I think love Wicks, and 275 is way too much value to pass up.
Yeah, and that's a receiver that is excellent at creating separation against anybody. So that's a really great pick there. For mine, I'm actually going to the Miami Dolphins, who are going up against the Packers this week in what will be a cold game in the frozen tundra. But I'm going with the Cheetah. Tyreek Hill plus 150 for an anytime touchdown, simply because this is a receiver who has 10 targets over the last 8 weeks, which is actually tied for the most of any pass catchers playing on Thanksgiving today. 3 touchdowns for Tyreek Hill over the course of the season. That's not nearly enough. We got to pad that stat there for Tyreek Hill, especially for all those fantasy owners out there that are not very thankful this year for Tyreek Hill on their squad. But I think it's all coming, guys. Have some faith here over the last couple weeks of the season. Going up against Green Bay, they are 20th in opponent red zone scoring, and so they also could be without their best cornerback, Jair Alexander. He did not practice, or it was an estimated report on Monday, but keep an eye on that injury, because if he is out, the Cheetah could just run loose on this Packers team. So I like the price tag we're getting with Tyreek Hill at plus 150, Tyler. Any thoughts on Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins in this could be kind of a sneaky game? I know so much has been made about it being cold weather in Green Bay, and could Miami Dolphins, survive the cold temperatures? Because, I mean, Tua's record in cold weather games is not good. I think it's 0-7. However, I wouldn't sleep on them right now. What about you?
No, and I wouldn't sleep on Tyreek either. Jonnu Smith has like 19 targets over the last 2 weeks. Like, that's just unsustainable target volume to the tight end. Like, meanwhile, Tyreek has like 11. Like, those two things aren't going to stay the same. Right. They will flip at some point soon. And I mean, it could be this week. Tyreek could go nuts.
Yeah, I feel like it's coming. I know I picked him last week for a player.
It's got to be coming.
I just feel like any day now it's coming. I know there has been a lot made about his wrist injury and, how healthy that is, but I still think he's hauling in. I think it's coming. Hopefully. Fingers crossed for all you guys that have Tyreek Hill on your squad for fantasy football. I know there's going to be a lot of people on this Thanksgiving checking their fantasy teams. I don't know who does that. That's so rude. Who would ever do that, Tyler? Do you do that? No.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like I won't have my phone open the whole day.
Well, if you do have your phone out, hopefully it is to track all of these winning prop bets for you on this Thanksgiving. If you've got any locks, again, drop them in the comments. We all want to hear from you guys. If you don't like any of our picks, let us know that too. We're all here to help each other out and learn something from each other and just basically just try to beat the books. That is the goal this Thanksgiving. So let's enjoy the games, enjoy the family if you can. Hopefully we can all have a great Thanksgiving and a profitable one as well. So as always, bet responsibly and make sure to check out all of our other content coming out of the LineStar YouTube channel. We are so thankful to all of you guys for tuning in each and every week. We appreciate the support and are thankful to you. So happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at LineStar, and go crush those props. Good luck, everybody.